This is family, right? Thank you for the recording. um, so I want to get a little bit more engaged into, some real talk here. We had a meeting today and with a platinum and some other travel trainers. And we talked about some of the people that have left the organization. We talked about that what was their grievances, right? And did you know that 61% of the people talked about income potential, that they couldn't find income potential within this travel game? That's crazy. It's because this tool was not optimized. And so I'm going to talk a little bit differently about this tool. So we're going to help with mindset, because I think that really isn't the issue with not optimizing this tool, is the mindset about it. So I'm going to go right into the presentation. We're going to talk about 3 things on how to optimize Evo Plus: the instant income mindset, the instant deals, and the instant cash. So we've talked about instant commissions. And the reason why I changed the word, because maybe it would open your mindset to be like shift in perspective, right? So we use the same words, we can tend to tune out. We tend to go, oh yeah, I already know about that. But what if we change the wording, right? Instant income. So yes, we want to make money, and this is how we shift the mindset. Let's get into that. So what is an instant income mindset? I know that there's probably more than just these 3, but I'm going to tackle these 3. Number 1, do we think about the income producing activity and this tool for us is not only a cost saving tool? So a lot of times we look at Evo Plus, oh, it's going to save my clients so much money. I'm so excited about it. It's going to save them money. But do we think about it as it's going to bring me income? And this is the first tool that I need because I need to make money. Think about it. We all have $89.99 to cover every single month, right? And are we covering that? And we have the ability to cover that every month if we use this tool. And then also, what is the income goal? So sometimes we're thinking about saving the client so much money that we actually don't think about if the dollars make sense. We don't think about, okay, I need to make $100 out of this deal no matter what, right? So we have to position it. It is not an or, it's an and. We can make money and we can save our clients money as well. So it's both. And then sometimes there's some fear, like, oh, I don't know about giving 2 invoicings or plugging in the Evo Plus amount and charging that, and then also charging the amount that I'm going to get paid in my commissions. I feel weird about that. Call it what it is. If it's a fear, bring it up. Tell the truth about it. Engage with your mentor. Talk about it so that you can overcome it with the truth. The truth is, you are saving your clients money and you are making income. But if you don't know and you don't have confidence in what you're doing, it's going to translate to your clients. So we want to make sure that you overcome the fears, and you don't have to be in this alone. Work with your travel mentor, work with some of your fellow agents that are killing it in Evo Plus. There's many of us that are killing it in Evo Plus. Engage. It's okay to have the fears, but it's not okay to be in the shadows with them. All right, guys. So now that we have a little bit about the mindset, engaged in that, now you're feeling a little confident in your body. Maybe this is the puzzle piece you were looking for to engage with the clients, to use this tool. Maybe you were shrinking back saying, I can't use it because I just don't know that much about it, right? Now we can engage with it. We need to qualify that client, right? So let's qualify the client now that we need to know their destination. We need to know the dates and which they're traveling. We need to know the hotel brands and all of those type of things. This is a great list to start out with. One thing we're going to provide you guys is a list of all the things that you can do to qualify a client. We have a list available. In our travel knowledge team, we have a list available to qualify a client. That is not some form you need to recreate. Don't reinvent the wheel. We have the tools, but these are some of them, right? So this.
And I added it in the chat, you guys, just now. Angela's going to go break it down. I know some of us are visual learners, so I did add that. Please focus on Angela, but save that to your laptop because you will want it later.
Thank you so much, Nikki. All right. So now that we have a few of the things here on this screen that we would want to qualify the client with, we want to go into what is a good, better, and best option. And the reason why we do this is because we want to wow our clients, right? We want to wow that prospect we have right in front of us. So the offer, the good, the better, and the best. So good is something like something that's right at their budget or below. Make sure that the rating is what they prefer. The star rating is not a 2-star, but exactly kind of what they need, 3-star or above. If it's in their budget, we share the cost, we share the amenities, we share the location, we share the distance from the airport, the reviews. We do all of that. We provide that service. And then we show a better hotel, something that's a little above budget, and we share the advantages and the values of that product as well, and that hotel. And then we go into the best. Now, guys, this is intentional. This is when we do the active listening. I know that Nikki has an amazing script that if you guys need that, you reach out to her. But this is when we dream with the clients. What do they want to feel? What do they want to see? What do they want to experience on this trip? Listen to them. They're going to tell you. When you ask these engaging questions, they're going to tell you. They might say, I want to scuba dive, but I'm not sure if I really want to do it all inclusive. I'm a foodie and I really like food, but I just don't know if we can afford that. If you find them an all inclusive, that includes scuba diving, that includes the hotel and the all inclusive food, then you have really fulfilled their dream. But they're not thinking about it because maybe they're thinking about budget. So this is your opportunity to propose the options, but you've got to sell that dream. Okay, the dream is like everything, right? Because now they're looking at it and they see the cost and they're going to say, wow, my best option, it's only $500 more. Wow, I think I can do it. I think I can swing it. So guys, I'm going to give you a live example of this. I had a client just last night. We're doing a marriage retreat cruise, and it's leaving on Friday. Last night, someone was like, hey, but I really want to go. Oh my gosh, we've been preparing this for a year. You tell me the week of. I'm going on the site, and I'm like, it's like one of the last cabins, $3,700 for a 3-night cruise. That's not something I would do, but do you know these people booked last night? They booked. We cannot price things with our budget. We help them and serve the customers what is their budget, right? Sometimes people want to make their dreams a reality at any cost. So don't prevent them from doing it. All right. Where can you find Evo Plus? So those of you that are new to this tool, you find it in your back office, and on the left-hand side, you'll see the column, and you'll see right under Travel Cafe, Evo Plus. Okay, so now I'm going to jump into a live example. I'm going to go right here to my Evo Plus, and I put in Tulum, Mexico. I put Tulum, Mexico, and I went ahead and put the dates of next year, the 13th of January through the 20th. That's 1 week.
So really quick, Angela,
yeah,
I wanted to add is you guys will find Evo Plus in your back office, right? So if you don't know how to find Evo Plus, there are other trainings on it. But you can find it directly in your back office when you sign on. If you go to the left-hand side, kind of right where you do your trainings to begin with, things like that, that's where you'll find it. You'll click on it and then it'll bring you to another portal. That's how you will get here. And then
Yeah.
also, really quick to just show them what they're building towards. I'm going to share my screen really fast so that you guys can see what it is that Angela is doing right now and have that full picture, because I know me and I know that I love to have a visual to really pay attention. So I'm about to bring up my screen right now and show you guys. All right. There we go. Can you guys see it?
Not yet. Almost.
Can we see this?
Yes.
Okay. So Angela, take it from here and I'll take it down. But this is what she's working towards. All right. And then we'll bring this up at the end. But she's comparing Expedia and she's comparing Evo Plus pricing. And we're going to show you how you can make at least 500 bucks tonight. All right. Go for it, girl.
All right. Thank you. All right. So got my screen. All right, you guys can see it again. So what I was showing you is that let's say your client's, your prospect right in front of you has picked the best option, which is the Tulum Resort, right? So I don't see it here anymore. But one thing that I wanted to show you, and the reason why I pulled up the Evo Plus is because I wanted it to showcase the hyperlinks that are here. So I just had it. Let's see. Let me refresh. So the hyperlinks that are above here, if this were the Tulum Resort, you could click on the Expedia right here, and it's going to take you right over into Expedia. The reason why I'm showing you this, because the price comparison that you need to do, your homework, your due diligence, this streamlines it and makes it super easy. So you have the January 13th through 20th. You don't have to plug in those dates. They're already loaded for you in Expedia, and it's going to pull up that resort that we were on in Evo Plus. That's going to be your top one, right? So this is what's so great about using Evo Plus to its max capability. Yes, you can pull up your resort here, but also do your price comparison there. And as Nikki mentioned, if we're going to use our best option, let's say it was that Tulum Resort that we found on Evo Plus. This is the one she was referring to. Look at how beautiful that is, right? It's so pretty. You're sending your clients to there. This is their dream. You're showcasing their dream. Make sure you put pictures in your itinerary and put it in there in your good, better, best options, pictures, amenities, sell the dream. All right. This is what we were talking about, the instant deals, right? So we go from that mindset. We have that instant income mindset. We bring that to qualifying the clients. But we're also going to need to keep that mindset as we go into the instant deals. We're going to look at this and we're going to see the Expedia option. I don't know if you can see it. Can you guys see it all? Okay. The Expedia option, you can see that it's $3,777. And this, or $771, that's very different. And that is the retail rate that Expedia has to come up with, right? That is significantly higher than what we have at Evo Plus. There's a savings of $1,092.17. What do we do with that money? That is instant cash right in our pockets today. Do you think you need business cards in order to do this? You guys, let me know. Do you need business cards? Do you need to to set up. No, you don't need business cards. Do you need a business name in order to engage with Evo Plus? No. So why are we holding back from using this tool? This is something we can use today. I don't care how new you are or how seasoned you are. Why are we not? 61% guys don't know that the income potential we can use for this shouldn't be us. This should be something that we use on a daily. Even if you're doing packages, let's say someone wants to go on a cruise. What are you using to book them in a hotel pre-cruise? What if you're doing a package to Europe? Are some of your hotels, are you using Evo Plus for some of them to make instant cash? And then on the back end, you're getting commission from Europe Express. Use all your tools, right? Not just one. So then you've got the cost savings in this example for $500, and you have instant savings to your client for $592. Now, there could be a formula that says, hey, you can do half, but what if you wanted it all? What if you wanted to price match Expedia? You definitely could. Who says you can't? So if Expedia is one of the cost saving leaders for retail, you can definitely match that. And what you're providing, don't forget the service you're providing. It's not just about cost savings. We're not Costa of travel. We provide a service. So remember that when you're doing these deals. So we have $500 in cash. We've got the $2,678.84 for the hotel. And the total due is $3,178.84. So now we're going to need to give them a form, the credit card authorization form, right? But I'm going to pause here for a moment, and I'm going to say, because some of us get caught up in what's the issue, right? We're not conversational, and we're not relational. I don't know if I can do this. Okay. Right now, I'm going to pause right now and help with mindset. Remember, we were talking about mindset. Right now is the holidays. Okay, guys, it's the holidays. And if you're not asking people what they're doing conversationally, what are you doing for travel? What are you doing? Where are you going? Is your family coming in? Do you guys have your hotel already? They're telling you we're going to go to Mexico. We're going to go to, oh, that's great. Did you have your hotel already? Well, yeah, actually we do. How many of you are thinking it's over. It's a wrap. They said they already have their hotel. How many of you think conversation over? No, conversation not over. Right. That's right, guys. Activities, you're right. But have you ever considered, think about how you've booked hotels in the past. Have you ever considered that hotel that they have booked is on reservation? It's not paid for yet, guys. In most cases, their hotel's not paid for. You have an opportunity to slide in and say, if I can offer you a discount at a wholesale rate on that same hotel, would you consider booking with me? What? You can actually get me a lower rate? It's possible. Let me get your information and check. It doesn't cost you anything. Oh my goodness, yeah. You can literally take that reservation and have them pay. So not only, think about this broadens your scope. This is not only for people who are looking for hotels. This is people who have hotels. You can book them as well. This is a game changer. Why are we stopping when someone tells us they already have something? What is our way in? How can we be of service? Once again, be conversational and be relational. All right. So now we get the credit card authorization form, and you fill it out, and you have your $3,178, the total amount, and 84 cents, right? Now, we do not put segmented amounts like, oh, this amount is for this, and it's too confusing. Just put one 100, 100% of the total, because this gives you authorization to run their credit card for Evo Plus and authorization to run it for your Square account. So some of you might be sending in them an invoice for Square for them to approve. That's confusing. You have authorization to run that Square cost through your portal, because this credit card authorization gives you the power to do both. Streamline it. So now Nikki's going to show us the how. Nikki is a gold leader. She is an IATAN card holder, and she is an instant commission booking queen, y'all. She knows how to do this ins out. She has made thousands, I'm not exaggerating, thousands of dollars using this tool. So we are so excited to have her. She's going to show us the ins and outs on how to use Square. This is our wallet where we store all that cash that's coming in. Where are we putting that instant cash? We're going to put it in that Square wallet. So now she's going to show us how to use that. And she's going to expound upon what I'm saying. And we're going to answer some questions as well. I know you guys are blowing up the chat with questions, and I love it. Keep them coming, because we will address them. Nikki, my queen, take it away.
Hey guys, thank you so much, Angela. I love you. I loved you since I've met you. And this is just another testimony to how we really become a family. Seeing a lot of familiar faces on here. I've been a part of the company since February of 2023, when I had not a single penny in my bank account. And quickly, a little bit about my story so that we can hop back in and pick up where we left off. I scrambled to find the money to pay for my first month. And I think it's really important to remind yourself that sometimes we're in that same position. Sometimes we're like, oh, wow, I didn't know that, other people have it worse than me. But the one thing that we all share in common is our mindset. Right. And just because I had no money in my bank account did not mean that I wasn't successful. It didn't mean that I wasn't capable. It meant that I had that much more drive and determination and ambition to get things going. And so I came up with an instant commissions method even before Evo Plus came out. We do have another vendor that we will not be covering today. I'll do a specialty training on it, but Downtown Travel. And I've made over $40,000 to date with Square and instant commissions. So you can see how I went from February of 23 negative in my bank account. I would say I really rolled this out in August of 23. So from August of 23 until, about a year and a few months, 40,000 in only instant commissions, not to mention all the travel commissions that I get on the back end. You guys, there is no other company that allows you to do wholesale rates like Archer, where you get to keep 100% of the profits. And that is my motivation every single day, right? It's what's best for the customer, what's best for the client, and it's you really leading the way. So, kind of just picking up where we left off is the credit card authorization form. So I'm going to go ahead and pull that up really quick. I also put together a Square presentation that we will break down very quickly, because we do have a hard stop here in about 25 minutes. So I want to be mindful of the time and the next presenter. Can you guys let me know if you're seeing this okay in the chat, the credit card authorization? Okay, cool. All right, so a few things. I want to just break this down very quickly. So the independent contractor information that you see up here in the blue box, this is your information. Now, don't get intimidated by words, right? If it says business name, business address, put your name and your address if you don't have an entity. When I first started out, I didn't know that my company would be called Dauntless Travel. I had no idea what went into an entity, but I will tell you from experience, I will tell you from working with millionaires and billionaires, that you don't need a name, you don't need to have it all to start your business. In fact, the most successful people that are making 8, 9 figures They are the ones that started exactly where we are today and you are today, right? And so over the last year and a half, coming up on 2 years in February, I'm still perfecting my business, right? My website, I'm getting so much business, you guys, with everything that we're teaching you in this training that I can't even build SEO, right? Search engine optimization, being on the first page of Google for my website because I'm too busy and I can't handle it. I now have to hire an assistant and I'm making the kind of money that will allow me to do that so that someone can help me expedite that process, right? So don't be intimidated by the word business. Now, moving down, this is for the client, right? So, or no, is this, no, this is your name. Sorry, it's an independent contractor. So we are all 1099 employees here, right? We pay ourselves. And so essentially you're going to put your first name and your last name here, or if you have a company, put it here. And then no, here. This is the independent contractor, sorry. So this would be like Angela Hines, right? I, Angela Hines, hereby authorize Nikki Lowe to process the credit card information provided for the reservation details below. Okay. Now the guest name, hopefully I didn't confuse any of you guys. Sorry. My dyslexia takes over sometimes. But the guest name, that's going to be the person that's going to sign the form. Okay. Trip type. So for this instance, for commission, it's going to be land only. For supplier name, you can, I mean, you could fill out Evo Plus or downtown travel and then a slash. I'm going to show you guys what to put for that other slash later on. This other stuff you could fill out later. Some of the confirmations that you will find with wholesale vendors like Evo Plus and downtown travel, the confirmations that you will see on the printout paper, they don't correlate with the systems at the hotel, right? And I worked at a hotel as well, so I can talk from both sides. But as far as the hotel goes, the confirmation that you're going to write down here is not going to be the confirmation they give to the hotel. However, I've never had an experience where the hotel didn't work out, right? So another thing I like to do is I'll call the hotel after I make the booking, after I get the signature, and just double check and make sure that they have that in their system and there are no issues before I pay myself. Okay. There's a process. So I just want to make sure you guys I'm setting proper business expectations, which Halia will do a training on, a pop-up training on probably after this week. But that is just to set the tone and let you guys know to keep that in your back pocket. All right. Same dates for the departure as well as the return, contact name. So, for this one, essentially, I don't know. Would you put the same one as guest, Angela? Because I do mine a little bit differently.
Yes, same
Okay.
name.
So same name is the guest name, right? And then the name as it appears on the card. So whether it's them or someone else, they essentially will need to put that information here. Now, something that's very, 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 very important, if you are just starting out and you do not have a CRM, which you are not expected to, which is why we're teaching you the free way, do not collect their entire credit card information. This is only for 4 digits, okay? And so you'll put the total here that Angela gave you, that one total. You'll fill out the remaining details, but the one thing we want to protect is their data, and we want to make sure that we keep it secure, which is why we do not put that full number on the form, all right? And then travel protection, I will be covering that topic later this week, so don't worry about this portion. And then you need them to sign and date. Now, something that would not be a bad thing to do because there is fraud that we do need to protect against, and protecting against not just them, but you, right? At the end of the day, if they're the one that is doing the fraud, right, or doing something sketchy, you don't want it to fall on you. So something that I like to request when using this form is I'm going to need you to sign this and get it back to me, Mr. Customer, as well as a copy of the license to match the person on this page that is processing the payment. Okay. Now I'm not getting into the what ifs if it's a fake, license, none of that, none of that matters right now, but you just want to cover your edges. And so that's just an extra precautionary step you don't need to do. However, it is something, if it's a larger deal, that I recommend. That's all. All right, and then just highlighting on this consultation form, I will include these again. It'll be sent out to you guys after um, the night, right? And we'll go over the homework at the end of this. But ultimately, this is what you're going to ask your clients, right? So if you're brand new to the industry and you don't know what questions to ask, you guys could print this out, right? I'm still someone that processes and retains better with my memory if I print things out and I write it down. I can also write other notes here, but this is really just to keep you on track, right? And so I'm not going to go through the questions of this. I'm just showing you guys. This covers everything, okay? So I want to go ahead and move on to our presentation. So give me 1 second so I can pull up my PowerPoint. Let me know when you guys can see that. Give me a thumbs up in the chat on your camera. Can we see? Okay, cool. All right, so Evo Plus, Angela just took care of this. So as a reminder, this is essentially what she was showing you guys. I'm not going to break it down any further, but you will have a copy of the slides later. As far as the processing fees go, all right, so I'm going to have this in the chat. I'll drop a link for you guys. But this is something ultimately that you're going to want for the future. So I might have to do it later. It looks like it's interfering and I don't want to interfere, but let's go ahead and get back to this. All right. So this will give you $1,000 of free processing fees, and we'll talk about that in a second. All right, so benefits of Square, right? There's other ways you could pay for yourself, or you could pay yourself, right? So some other ways are Zelle, Venmo, Cash App, PayPal. However, the reason I will push you towards Square and promote Square every single time is because it looks more professional, even if you don't have a business, right? It's simple, it's easy set up. I have all the diagrams with arrows and stuff that we're going to quickly walk through before we end here. Very user friendly. They even have a mobile app that you can use. And the best part, you guys, no official business entity needed. Okay, that is key for anyone, whether you started today, you started 6 months ago, right? You do not need to have a business entity. All right, so I'm gonna move on. So Square account creation, right? We're gonna, you guys, this is already done for me, so there's nothing for me to go through as far as this goes. However, it's a step-by-step to help you guys later on. Processing fees breakdown. So some of you guys are probably like, why do I have to pay processing fees? What are processing fees? So essentially every single company, right, that is collecting money has to pay a credit card processing company to go ahead and process those funds. And then after those funds are processed, because it takes it out immediately, you get the remaining balance, right? Now, some of you are probably going to say, well, I don't want to lose out on that 3.5% or 3%, right? Well, we'll cover that in a second. It's nothing to worry about. We have other options. But essentially, they exist to cover security, right? So compliance costs, credit card networks, nothing is free in society anymore these days, and it's absolutely unavoidable. All processors charge similar fees. So could you do Zelle? Could you do Venmo, Cash App, Apple Pay? You can. I'm not saying you can't and you don't have to, but what are you going to do if someone tries to dispute it, right? Well, they're not going to get their money back for it, but it's just good for your business reputation to start using something. And overall, the platform itself is free. You don't have to pay a monthly fee for it. All right, so option to pass fees on to clients. All right, so essentially something that I do, depending on the complexity of the deal, right, is I will pass 3.5% of the total cost off to my clients. Now, one thing with instant commissions is that 3.5% is only coming from that instant cash payout to yourself. Okay. So it would be off of the 500 or the 100 or the, I've charged 1,500 before finding a good deal, but ultimately it's only off of anything that goes directly to you. It has nothing to do with Archer. It has nothing to do with the suppliers or the contractors. And again, this is a choice. So if it becomes too confusing, don't do it right now, right? Let's keep things very, very simple. And this is something that you can work up to. But this, transparency is key. So if you're going to charge people, you definitely need to make sure that you're mentioning that up front so they don't see something on the back end that's like, oh, wait, what? But with the example that Angela gave, right? So everyone does things a little bit differently, but going off of Angela's example and that credit card authorization form, the cool thing about that is you can technically pawn that off to the client, right? But you're going to have to wrap that into the total you pay yourself too, right? Which is why it's easier to just mark that price up and account for those CC processing fees rather than do it separately, right? Because with wholesale supplier rates, which is another way of saying instant cash in my pocket today, there are so many ways that you can get creative so that you're making money, you're being transparent, and everyone is happy. It's a win-win-win in this scenario, okay? Adding your bank account. So again, these are words I'm going to show you with examples. We have about 10 minutes left. So this is what your dashboard's going to look like, okay? I did it on here with tutorials because it could get very confusing doing it live with a time constraint. But the first thing that you guys want to do, okay? So if I'm going back to my dashboard, right? This is what I first see after I sign up. This is something that I see every single time that I log on to Square. All right. And so what we're about to do is you see these 3 slashes at the top. This is something that is going to pull up additional information. All right. So if I want to look at account settings, okay, so I'm going to click that. And then what I'm going to do is go ahead and click account settings. All right. So under account settings, this is where you're going to find most things that you need to do to set it up. You're going to click on my business. All right. And then once you click that, you're going to have some drop downs. Locations. So locations, what they are, I'm going to get to it throughout this presentation at the end, but essentially this is for charging. You can name your location. So I name one of my locations wholesale supplier rate. All right. Some people, I know Angela, she puts her travel agency. You could put your name, but if you don't have a business name, you can also put wholesale supplier rate. And I'll show you exactly how we do that so that you don't feel intimidated, like you're putting your name there. Why am I paying this girl? Right. It looks a lot more professional. So we'll walk through that. And that's what I'm going to show you next. Okay, so I click on locations, right? This is what pops up. Now, what you guys will see is a blank slate. So you're going to go ahead and click create location. All right. And then it's going to ask you to type in information. So this is where you're going to go ahead and name that location, wholesale supplier rate. Now, the reason you see another location here is I charge fees up front, which we're not going to cover right now. We'll cover that later in the week. But you can essentially create 2 different locations so that when you are paying yourself for these instant commission deals, it doesn't look like it's going directly to your company. It's actually considered wholesale supplier rate, which the way I explain that to people, if it shows up on their bank statements as wholesale supplier rate, is yes, that's included in the total cost, Mr. Customer. I just have to break it up over 2 separate transactions in order to get you the best rate today. That's how I do it because I work through my wholesaler to get you the best deal and then move on to the next thing. Okay. It might feel a little nerve-wracking up front. I promise you, I've never had any single person bat an eye once I explain it like that. Okay. And then you'll go ahead and type this in the business description. I will give this copy to you guys later. Followed by contact info. All right. So put your regular email address. If you don't have a business email, you'll put the phone number. You'll put your website. If you don't have one, don't worry about it. Instagram, this is mine. Facebook, this is mine. If you don't want to put any of that, you do not have to. All right, and then you'll see business hours. So put your time zone, but then for regular hours, none of this stuff matters, you guys, which is why I'm showing you so that you don't feel overwhelmed when you see it because it's inevitable, right? So don't worry about putting any hours, none of that matters. Now, bank information, right? So about to dive into that super, super quick and where you'll find it, but ultimately this is my bank account that I've added, okay? So English language, and that's locations. Now, quickly moving on to banking. All right. So instead of going under my business, I click banking. All right. And then I click bank accounts first. This is so that I can get paid. Okay. So the money has to go somewhere. So you have to set up an external bank account in order to pay yourself. All right. So if we're going back to what we've been referencing this whole time is wholesale supplier rate. Um, Keep one, right? Keep one there and just have it say wholesale supplier rate. All right. Now, moving on to transfers. Okay. So, you set up your bank account. Now, transfers can also work with debit cards. So it can get a little confusing, which is why I want to cover all the bases and send this slide to you guys just in case anything comes up and you're like, wait, what the heck do I do? You can look at the slides, right? I've highlighted everything for you guys to see. So this is what transfers look like, all right? I can choose this linked bank account that I have, but then you'll receive a transfer schedule, all right? So I recommend just keeping it automatic. That way, after 1 to 2 business days, you can get paid. Now, I will say starting out, I was in a bind and I needed to pay myself immediately, right? Some of you are like, how the heck am I gonna cover my costs of $89.99 next month or even this month? You guys, this is it because you get to control when you receive the money. You will pay a little fee for receiving it early. But what you want to do then, if you're in a bind and you don't want it to automatically come out, I recommend just using manual then. Do not put it on automatic because once those transfer funds are sent, you will not be able to switch that for that transaction. Okay. And then you know that the money is always just going to be in that Square account until you transfer it. So transfer speed, what you'll see on here are the free options, right? So 1 to 2 business days if you aren't in a bind and you don't mind it hitting your bank account after 1 to 2 business days. Keep in mind the weekends are not technically considered business days. There are options for an instant. If it is an instant, which I've been in this situation many times, they will charge you 1.75% of the total balance. That's after you're paid out of the processing fees. All right. So I know it's a lot of info at once. However, this recording will be sent to you guys. You'll be able to reference it as well as the slides. And if you have any questions, you'll be able to reach out to me directly. Taking a payment very, very quickly. So if we go ahead and go back to our main dashboard where we start out, we'll go ahead and click take payment. The amount that Angela is paying herself is $500 today, right? So I'm going to go ahead and put the amount in here. Keep in mind, this is the number you get to change. It's not going to show anything off the bat. It's your responsibility to put this in. So if you choose to pay yourself more than $500, great. Less than $500, I don't know why you would, but you can do that too. And then also what I put in the notes section, wholesale supplier rate, I repeat it, non-refundable. You guys, non-refundable is key here. If you take anything away from paying yourself, this is what you need if Square were to try and audit or dispute that charge, okay? We have the CC authorization form. We have this saying non-refundable. You need to cover your bases. Now, you need to call the customer to collect their credit card information. Okay, so if you do not have a CRM platform, which you're not expected to, there's still no excuse as to why you cannot do this because this is how I started in the beginning. I had my CC authorization with the last 4. I had both of my portals up and I let the customer know I'm going to be charging this 2 times. Okay, so if you can go ahead and give me your credit card information, that way I can enter it into both transactions. And then you'll go ahead and type this information in. Ultimately, afterwards, you'll go ahead and click charge at the top, and then that's that. Okay. Um, Ultimately, I recommend sending yourself the receipt. Do not send it to the client or the customer. You want that to come directly to you. If you choose to send them any sort of invoice, right? You can create an invoice anywhere. I can give you guys some templates, but you want to make sure that you have both receipts for both transactions, right? So then ultimately what we would do, we would go back to Evo Plus on the pay table. You would take the Evo Plus amount to pay Evo Plus. You would take your amount and pay yourself. And then ultimately that equals the total balance that the client sees on the invoice. All right. So I want to wrap things up. I think we'll open it for a few minutes. I know we started a little late, so hopefully we could just have about 5 minutes quickly to answer some questions, and then I will introduce the next speaker. All right. So what did you guys think of the presentation today between Angela and I? Who's excited to make some instant cash today? Who feels a little bit more comfortable making some money? Awesome. I know it was a lot of info, you guys. So take a deep breath. Just know that you're going to have all the information. We covered it today. We only have a small period of time to do so. I know it was very, very fast. Again, you'll be able to go ahead and digest that information. Now, really quickly, I am going to stop sharing my screen and I'll share that Square link with you guys so that you guys can get $1,000 of free processing upon sign up, right? So that will help with those processing costs of the 3.5%, and well, I'll be happy. So feel free. I don't know if they're allowed to unmute themselves or not, but if you guys want to start asking questions, or can one of the co-hosts go ahead and start reading through some of the common ones that popped up, or Angela, and we can kind of address those.
You want me to read?